Mr. Chairman. Thank you for introducing the federal legislation combating organized retail crime act. I am incredibly proud to be a co-sponsor of that, and it is timely, certainly, and needed now more than ever. I'm one of the newest senators here. As you can tell, I sit down here at the edge of the dais, and one of the things that has shocked me and frustrated me, and that's putting it mildly, is when we're dealing with issues like organized retail crime, whether that's cargo or smash and grab or organized retail theft. Really, this should be a bipartisan effort in how we approach it. But I'm always incredibly surprised to hear questioning that, is it really that bad? Like, shouldn't we attribute that to something else? Or why is FBI and DHS helping? So what I'm finding is that I think in whether it's a governor or a mayor in so many places, and just to be clear, that's the executive branch whose responsibility is to enforce the law. There is almost an ignorance or willful blindness, or maybe it's self-promotion over the success and stability of their state or city. I don't know what it is. But it is increasingly hard for somebody like me that served as a judge and a federal prosecutor and is the wife of a law enforcement officer to watch these statements. For example, in one governor, Newsom out of California, went to a cargo theft site and was like, I don't know what's happening. This looks like a third world country. In fact, I don't think it's a coincidence that in the last 3 years, the incident rate of cargo theft has gone up 17,000%, and we've also seen unvetted people come into this country by the millions and invited into California, and nobody's picking up on that. How many times have we heard the word transnational criminal organization? Transnational criminal organization. In fact, we just rolled out more arrests since Trump's been in office of people here that have been deported time and time again with criminal backgrounds and are stealing from cargo freight. In Florida, we just arrested a ring of people here from Venezuela with ties to Tren de Aragua who were found to have been responsible for dozens of retail thefts in Florida. Now, what I'm happy about is we now seem to have proposed legislations that are going to do what we did in Florida. So when I was Attorney General, we launched a database that started tracking these cross-jurisdiction. So where one might look like a single theft incident, we were able to then show, oh no, this was 9 jurisdictions, $20 million in loss, 20 different retailers, and we charged it that way and prosecuted that way and locked them up for the true crime. We also did legislation that expanded the time period on which you could tie in these multiple hits and incidents into the organized crime, and that is what this proposed federal legislation is going to do. But what we have to stop doing is saying the problem's not bad when the numbers are staggering. It's costing Americans, when we're trying to figure out how we're going to afford to put food on the table with skyrocketing prices. We don't need built into those prices theft that can be avoided if we just have executives understand that it is their job, governors and mayors, to work with law enforcement to enforce the law. When you have DAs abdicating their responsibility and saying, I'm not going to lock anybody up for theft, that just flows gasoline on the fire. And what did we do different in Florida? We actually removed the DAs that wouldn't enforce the laws they didn't like. So in New York, it shouldn't have been surprising when they were catching people stealing and they said, well, we steal here, but we go in Florida to spend our money because in Florida, if we get caught, they'll lock us up. We need a national approach that says we're taking this seriously. This is costing Americans money. It's costing us the ability to share information across not just county lines within a state, but across state lines and then across nation states. This is so important. I cannot stress how important it is. Otherwise, Mr. McBride, you referenced this, and I want to say to you, you said, look, it's costing us so much money. Can we even stay open? Miracle Mile was about a third empty. Miracle Mile in Chicago, and you had a mayor blaming the businesses that they didn't have more security. If that is not short-sightedness in the role of an executive in an executive branch, I don't know what is, and that is a primary driver of this. Mr. McBride, can you say, from your experience, how much do you think costs go up as a percentage as a result of this organized retail crime?
So I cannot speak exactly to a number. I can tell you that the losses are absorbed by corporations for as much as they possibly can stand, but it does end up coming back to the consumer in a lot of different ways, whether there's cost of goods, because we have to provide additional inventory to cover the gaps that now are missing from the store, cost of security, cost of training, the cost of rehiring associates when they no longer feel safe enough to want to work in those locations. So it is a very exponential amount of increased effort and costs on the part of every single retailer, because every single retailer in this country, in every single state, have been victimized in some way by these crime groups.